Yeah, if you could just relate to that.
When Chief Standing Bear, whenever he won that trial, because they did a habeas corpus on him, a writ, and whenever they did that for him, and by him winning, that set the precedent for all Native Americans to fall under the protection and get all the same things that every United States citizen got, because before that we did not have that right. We fell under nothing like that, and it changed it for us in a lot of ways, good, compared to what we used to do. So I think in a modern day time now, we got the same benefits. We got treaties. Don't get me wrong, our treaties have been broken, but they still do part of them. But the thing is we got to look at it as a positive thing, and also in the self-governance what we have here, we have to be able to start creating jobs, and sooner or later we're going to have to become self-sufficient, because one day we might not have no help no more. So we have to be prepared for that day. And I believe that's what they're doing right now. We got so many things going on now, and I believe that our chairman and our vice chairman and our secretary treasurer and all our members of Trey Howe, Buddy Simpson, and my auntie, she just got on, Judy White, Lolita White. But I think right now that's what's happening, is we got things that are making preparation for the future of the Ponca of Oklahoma.
And since this film is about mainly the Omaha and the Ponca, well, how do you think it's going to relate to all the tribes in America seeing this film? And it's not just, to put words in your mouth, it's not just going to be for the Omaha and the Ponca, right? I mean, do you think, how much are all the other tribes going to appreciate this?
We're going to appreciate it because a lot of tribes, like our Trail of Tears is untold. Nobody knows. 2 weeks ago, a parent came to me and said, in Ponca City schools, and I'm not talking bad about you, but the uneducated, they said that whenever they brought your family in the Trail of Tears, they put all your elders and children, and everybody got to be in wagons and horses. That's not true. They shot our horses. They took every weapon we had, including our axes. They took they took everything. Our elders up in their 90s, our children that were infants, had to walk through treacherous terrain and weather conditions. And when they did that, they had to pass rivers that them times were unpassable because of the snow melting back then. And they don't tell that side of the story. They don't tell that we lost up to 500 children. They don't tell what the tornadoes through Poncas everywhere. They found their bodies everywhere, even miles away from that. When they come to, they don't tell them sides how they were starving, how they had no moccasins. They walked through that snow with no moccasins because, see, you had to have several pairs of moccasins in them days because they wore out. They don't tell them stories, and there's many other tribes out there that are not being told about what happened, and maybe they're afraid to tell their side of the story because maybe they lost so much, maybe they lost so much of their language and culture that they're afraid to say this is what happened to us. But you can't. You have to stand up, Native American people. You have to tell your side of the story because it can't be his story. It has to be our story, and that's what we have to do in a positive way.
You think this story will relate? How will this relate to everybody?
It relates to everybody because it's going to give them a chance to tell their side of the story, and then also see that what the Chief Standing Bear also done for them, because they don't know. A lot of people don't know what he done for them. They don't know that he, by winning that habeas corpus in Omaha, Nebraska, in federal court, I mean, that gave us so many things that we never had before. That gave us a chance to vote for the president we want today. That gave us a chance to do so many different things and stand up without being persecuted, without being kept on a reservation. It gave us so many opportunities for education, for so many things that we some people take for granted, but us as Native American people, we can't take that for granted. We have to be ready.
Come on up this way.
But they're ready almost. But I appreciate you, Jerry, and what you're doing, and I appreciate you too, because you're giving us an opportunity, our people, to understand that what they didn't know before, and getting us to see and to open people's eyes about what it could have been if we didn't have this happen.
Great. That's what